welcome. This is Allison with All One Sun, and our topic today is what are we focusing on? Whatever you focus on is what you're going to manifest into your life. Now, just All One Sun is pretty much about us being one. In the islands they have a thing that they say, from one come all, or come many. So once you get a hold of that we are all one, we come from one place, all of us. It doesn't matter who created who or whatever. Everything has to originate from one place, and that is source energy. Once you really get a hold of that, then your whole entire world will change. The way that you view life, the way that you view a lot of things is going to change. Now, as you can see out here, it says time to wake up. Where you slash we are will tell us, you, what we are focusing on. So what are we focusing on? All right. What brought this up is that I'm looking into a lot of these black groups, into these, I don't like to say the word black, but groups that are targeting people of color. And I see all these things. Yes, there's some history things. It kind of like what do you call it there? Lies mixed in with truth. So they give us a little bit of our history. It makes us get interested into the group and stuff like that. Then you have all this stuff that cops killing this, cops killing that, and black people are fighting. Things that are not good for the for us as a community. And it gets a conversation going. And see, once they set up this group, and I have to say, because I don't know who's behind these groups. It could be somebody who's, thing there. It could be the elites that they put these groups there to start a certain thing. I have no idea. But the main thing is that when you get these groups, okay, a lot of the times the group person is a little bit more active when it's really actually a person, I believe, than the what do they call the admin is more active in the group or something like that. But anyway, so once these groups start and then they get a momentum on their own, they don't need to be there because people are posting the things that they really are just automatically doing things that is not really benefiting us as a whole. Anyway, now look at this picture. I'm sure for a lot of black people this picture is not, she's a nerd. We don't want to look nerdy. We don't want to look a certain way. This was pretty much me when I was younger. I didn't fit in. I didn't fit the norm of people. I didn't talk like most people my age. My mom used to tell me that I was a 13-year-old in a 33-year-old body. She used to always say to me, don't talk like that. Don't let people hear you talk like that. It'll make you crazy. It's funny because a lot of things I used to talk about then, people are talking about it now. I was way ahead of my time. And you'll hear that and hear a lot of people who are certain people will talk about that. And I was. And I didn't get bullied, really. I didn't. But I find that a lot of my black people, or the kids that were in my school, didn't really care for me too much. Okay? I was different. I didn't do the same thing that they did. So anyway, so it is so important for us to focus on what we are actually feeding our mind, feeding our souls, our unconscious. Those things are very important. And the elite, they know, they have studied our history, our Bible. They have all the information. They give us one information, but yet still they have another, and that is make them very successful through these years. We need to restore that. We need to recover. This is a little bit behind this picture, but I'm going to go ahead and go forward. Now, the reason why I'm showing pictures like this of people, of women, men, black, I don't like to use the word black, but people of color who are successful, who have gotten, that shouldn't have gotten there so fast yet, is because these people, I mean, think of the work that it used to become a gymnast. She had to work. It took discipline. It took focus. She focused on that one thing over and over and over and over to where she is right now. No, this is off. This is so off. Anyway, I'm just going to keep going. But she focused on that one thing to get her going where she is right now. So whatever you focus on, that is what's going to manifest in your life. Now, if we're constantly focusing on the cops beating up people, a lot of our black brothers, and since they're all, participating in, are going to start experiencing this. And of course, when the cops come down the road, you're going to become paranoid. You're going to feel, and then now you're going to draw that attention to you. Okay? Our focus is not what we're showing in these groups. It's just like rap music. Okay, they don't even have to use rap music anymore because they have the internet. Now, I'm making these people, you can see them in the back, but these are all successful people. Did you think that he was out drinking, smoking, whatever, partying, running after girls? Do you think that he was doing a lot of these things that I see a lot of people in the hood, or the people that most people think that black people are? Do you think that he was doing that to become the person that he is? That was where his focus was. Okay? Even this thing. So a lot of us, we are so happy and so glad to actually put a picture up of a black person or a person of color and say, oh yeah, they created this, but they created this, and the first this, and the first black person. But what are you doing? What are you focusing on? How are you contributing? Okay? How are you contributing? You think by posting pictures of black people fighting each other, that is contributing? Okay? You're setting up a focus. We have to protect our minds. That's what you're focusing on. That's what it's going to be. More people are going to experience. Okay, I mean, I as a person, this is why I don't go into a lot of these groups. I go in there, I post, and once in a while I go on something. If I see something, I may click on it and like it. This woman, for anybody who don't know, she's an opera singer. Okay, but we don't, so we have to be very careful about what we're doing. Our supposed enemy, okay, and I say supposing, they're real, but they are no effect to us if we know what is actually really going on. Okay, they have no power over us if we actually know what's going on and know how to use our own power. Right now, they're using our power. They are manipulating the power that you have. You set the narrative. You don't understand that. Okay? And what I mean by that is this. You look, your thoughts, you have a thought, and then you, that's my dog. You have a thought, and then you have usually there's an emotion behind the thought. The emotion is what? Okay, I'm going to pause this here for a minute. Okay, so like I was saying, you having the fabric is the thought. Whether you know it or not, as soon as you make that thought, it already exists. Okay? So you may say it already exists in a different plane. Okay, in a different, in the spirit world. Okay? If you want to put it that way, because you can't see it yet, but it's there. Okay. Before I actually go on, I don't want to say that. Here is these wonderful young men. Here's a thought. You either picture that or you picture this. Which one do you want? Okay? You either picture this wonderful family, having a wonderful family, or your mindset and your thought is going to give you the opposite. Now, there's nothing wrong with this wonderful lady with her family, but most of us, I think, would prefer to be on the other side. A single mom that's struggling, that says a lot. You know, I don't know if she's single, but anyway, here is knowing the real enemy is our key. The key here. We're talking about the enemy in the world. Okay? You also have your own enemy, which is you. Okay? The money, the corruption, all those things. This is the real enemy. We're fighting among ourselves. And I'm going to touch back before again, but I just, since these pictures are going, and I guess I didn't finish explaining myself enough to where it's caught up on me, so I'm going to go with the pictures that I put in line here. So the Zionists, which is in the fabric of our community, and the ones that are running everything, okay? And that's our true enemy. So while we are being distracted, so we don't know what the true enemy is. We are put against each other, black and whites, but the whites are the victim too, okay? And you may not say that. You may not think that, okay? But a lot of them are the victim. There's the Spanish, everybody is the victim. They're pinned on each other. They've distracted us. They have made us war of each other to actually realize what is actually going on. This is what we should be tearing down. They call it the globalists. They call it the deep state. These people are evil. If you know about the things that they're doing, it is absolutely, your kids are going missing. You keep seeing signs about the children are being missing. Black women especially are being missing. What do you think? Who do you think are doing these? We gotta get smart here and stop fighting against each other and teaming up and getting the things right, getting what's right, getting it right, okay? Getting all of our thoughts. Could you imagine all of our thoughts? Blacks, whites, Spanish, we're all on the same frame of mind, which is to develop ourselves, to get free energy, free education, everything. We are actually standing on our own feet, and we're building our lives without government, without control. Could you imagine that? That this is what we want for ourselves? Could you imagine every single one of us maybe just required to just have 4 hours where we work, whether we work at the law enforcement, or whether we work at, but we all have our specialty that we actually desire to do, whether it's an artist, whether it's a singer, whether it's a scientist, or something of that nature. Now, you hold the power. All these things about the white man is holding me down. Now, there are some stuff, there is what do they call it? Synthetic or whatever they call it. I can't think of it right, the word right now, but I think you know I'm talking at racism. We all know that it's there, but knowing and now getting resolved and then knowing it is half the problem, is half the solution. So you know it, you move on. Because the power that is in you is actually greater. Now, I like this saying. It says, weak people revenge. Strong people forgive. Intelligent people ignore. I have been saying these things with these black men that are being murdered. You need to ignore it. It's a distraction. You're like, how could we ignore it? They're killing us. They want you to think that. I guarantee you, you start ignoring it, it will go away because it's no longer effective. It's effective now because it's getting your emotion, it's getting you going. They want to start something. There's a reason for it. I'm not saying to ignore it, but you put your energy where you can do something about it. All right. I don't know who came up with this crap, okay? But that has put us back so much. So much. Do you ever see the way the people were dressed in the 60s? Huh? The 50s? How we dressed? How we looked? You look at the Jews, when they went through whatever they did, they didn't let that hold them back. They pushed forward. Yes, they got a big incentive, right? You're going to say that they got, whatever thing that, the money. Okay? But we also got our feet up. Sure, they ruined it. Now, you can either want yourself to look like this young lady. Okay? It's all in your mind. Paint a picture. What do you want to look like? Here you are, beautiful young lady, has a podcast, a business going. You want your family to look like that? You want to have a wonderful family? You're the father, you're having a wonderful... You paint the picture. You are in control. Wonderful surroundings. You are in control to create your world and create your community. Now, look at this. Let me read this. When I walked into a school full of black people, there seemed to be no signs of intelligence anywhere. Could you imagine that? Imagine that. This is what they think about. This is what they think of us. This is what they think of black people. Black people are a term that is used to classify you as slaves, to classify you as the white, the Indian blacks. They know who you are. The elites, they know who you are. They have stricken so much from our history and have confused us so much. It's hard, but it's there. You can trace it. Okay? Now, as you just saw the pictures before that, you can choose that, or you can choose this. Okay? This is what they see of us. You know, that's also another topic to get into. We have picked up their ways and taken it to the extreme. This is not how we eat. This is not how what we eat. We are vegans. We always were. We fell once we started to eat meat, and well, we fell probably before that, but we call ourselves gods and queens, and we have no idea what that means. Look at this. We have no idea. My queen. You get that title when you have a certain spiritual aspect about you, when you can get to that Christ-like, mindset. But this is what we're focusing on. This is how they have brainwashed us to become. And you fall for it, and you do it. This is what you're feeding yourself over and over. You want to get away from that. You want to get away from that. That's not who you are. The moment you decide to make a change and focus on something different, you have become a different person, and you have gone into a different timeline. You can go back to that timeline once you pick up where you left. Let's say, for instance, you don't drink anymore. Okay, you stop drinking. You're a totally different person. You're not the same person that used to drink, even if you stop drinking right now. Okay, but the moment you pick it back up, you picked right back up where you left off. Okay, the choice is yours. As a community and the same mindset. You see Babylon, the thing, Babylon, when these people were thinking, all their thoughts were the same. That's a message it's telling you. Once all of our thoughts are the same, collective thoughts, we can do whatever we want. Whatever we want. That was telling you that. The Bibles are filled with codes. So you as a collective, as a people, this is what you're thinking. This is your surrounding. This is what you're feeding yourself. So to the music, through everything, bitch, whore, blah, and look, there it goes. There it is. Oop, there it is. A manifestation. The people who have gotten away from this and are feeding themselves other things, more intellectual things. They know about the law of attraction. There are black people out there like myself who does. I wanted to start a business with a friend of mine. She's a what do you call it? A nurse practitioner. We were thinking about something to start, and I mentioned it to her, and I mentioned this business to her, and she said, "Oh, no. These black people don't want nothing to do with something like that. You might, and there may be a few other people out there like, but most black people." And I was like, "Oh my gosh." Now I love this thing. The guy says, "They consider the hood dangerous, but you never hear it at shoe school." But of course not. They don't care about that. That's not going to make big headlines for them. These people shoot up these white schools because they want to take our guns away. That's why they do that. There's a reason for that. That's why you don't see any shootings. They're shooting up like that in the school. Are there shootings in these schools? I'm sure they are, but you don't hear about them. Oh, anyway, my whole thing is that, folks, we've got to start focusing on what we want. How do you want your neighborhood to look? You can start, I don't care what you do, start making an excuse for your neighborhood. I don't care where your neighborhood right now is, what it looks like. You as a community, if you get together, you can turn your community around. Okay? One mindset, one determination to do things. You set up, whether it's a black party in your neighborhood, like this, so that everybody comes. And then you start talking to them. And you tell them, this is what we're going to do with our neighborhood. Look at it. Do you want to live like this? Okay? Because this is the way the white man sees you. This is the way everybody else sees you. Because this is what they paint on the movie screens, on pictures, on the internet. This is what you're showing them constantly. Okay? This is what they see. So what else are they supposed to think of you? Things has changed. Okay? I don't care what they say or what you may want to continue to say that thing. Like what's his name said? How do you stop racism? What's his name again? Will Furman? Stop talking about it. You're always bringing it up, over and over and over and over and over. How are you supposed to let it go? How are you supposed to get rid of it? I'm not saying that you can't talk about these things, and that because some of them don't exist in certain aspects. But if we as a black community start building our community up, start getting jobs back into our community, then if we have jobs and we have businesses, we're not worried about that. We can care less if they're prejudiced against us. Okay? Because money speaks, bullshit walks. Isn't that what they say? So you wouldn't care, you got money in your pocket, you're doing good, your community is doing good. But because you don't have it, and so you have to have somebody to blame it on. Okay? So you have to have somebody to blame why you're not getting ahead. Okay? When I was looking up for this, there's a thing that says, one of it says, white people don't believe or don't know that there are middle-class black communities. Okay? Because I was looking up for middle-class black communities. They exist. I lived in them. All black community. And I also mixed in mixed community. And I've also lived in mostly, predominantly white community. Okay? Now, there's a guy who mentioned that, we always say that when black people move in, white people move out. But why do they move out? Why did they move out? He was telling a story how this one guy who was this kid that were in a pretty much mostly white neighborhood, and there's the black families that's in there, and these black kids surround this one kid and was bullying him. And he didn't do what they told him to do, so they punched him, and the kid knew a little karate, whatever. He defended himself. Then they all jumped him, and so he managed to run off. And he goes, "What do you think that kid is going to do? He's going to go home and he's going to tell his parents what happened to him. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to want to move out." Okay? The idea that white people move because a black family moved out, there's a reason for it. There's a reason for it. I, as a black person, was living into a mixed, well, it was mostly, the neighborhood at the time that I was living into was a mostly, predominantly white neighborhood. However, the school area was a mixed, neighborhood, was a mixed school. And because there were other neighborhoods that were mixed, and it was like a mostly all white, mixed, mostly more black, but it was still mixed. But anyway, so the schools around it was mixed. And when I first got there, I think it was my first week. I'm not sure, but I was brand new in the school, and my mom told me, "Don't be causing any trouble, blah blah." So I had this big old bag, and the bag brunched against these kids, black kids that were playing double dutch. And I was like, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry ain't good enough. And they just went off on me just because just go back doing what you're doing. But no, it's got to be a big issue. So my aunt came up to me and came into it. She was the same age as I am. So she came over and she was saying, "Don't let them talk to you like that. You got to stick up for yourself. Otherwise, they're going to push you over." So now I was warned by my mom because she knows me. I don't take crap, and most of the people that I used to fight when I was in my other school was guys. Okay, she knows me, so she says, "Do you warn me?" She didn't want to hear that I'm in a fight because she knows I don't take crap. So I was going to be a good person. I was going to be a very good person. So my aunt though was sticking up. So anyway, after school, I was going down to take the bus, and I was going down to take the bus, and I was going down to take the bus, and what was it? I was going down to take the bus, and I don't know, does this stop? I got distracted here. Okay, so let me go on. I was going down to take the bus and from school, and the kids were there because I guess they were waiting for her, me, whatever. And so they started with me, and I'm like, "Listen, I don't want any trouble, blah blah." So she pushed me. And she pushed me, to make a long story short, she must have pushed me like 3 or 4 or 5 times. The last time she pushed me, I just turned around my big ass bag and I whacked her, got on her, I'm busting her butt. And guess what? Like they always do, they jumped in. They all jumped in, and then started to pound on me. So I happened to get away, and some white kids came over and was like, "Hey, what happened?" And they came over and helped me out. And guess what? They became my friends. They were my friends. So now these same kids, with the exception of these nerdy black kids, were my friends. These white kids, and so there was like a difference. The white kids used to hang up top, the black kids used to hang out down the bottom. Well, since these kids were the friends that I had, and since these kids were the ones who helped me, I hang out with the nerdy black kids and the white kids that was up on the other side. Okay? And they used to give me this look. And I'm like, "You're the one who tried to kick my ass. Okay? You're the one who stomped on me for some stupid rope. Okay? And this is us. We just talk about stupid shit. We talk about, and we get offended very easily, and we're all up in people's face about things, This is barbaric, uncivilized emotions and behavior. And I'm not saying all black people act like that, but this is what they show all the time. Like the mad black woman, this is what they show. This is how they see it. They show the most negative part of who we are. Like we know that there are white trash communities that are there, right? You don't see them, okay? All you see is about the black, the wonderful white community. So when somebody's talking about white, you mostly see something good. Okay? But this is the way they paint the picture. We have to do our own image. We have to paint the image ourselves. Where there's little to none of us that are acting in such a manner. We need to do our overall on our behavior, our attitude, and become more intellect. Okay? And behaving proper don't mean you're a punk. Okay? The wise people who are wise and spiritually in tune, okay, are people with patience, are people that are silent, okay, that are calm, that are quiet. Doesn't mean they're punks. It takes a lot more strength for you to take control of your emotions, your anger, and be self-disciplined. This is what we're here to do. Right now, I gotta tell you, most black people are out of control. They're out of control in the way they eat. They're out of control in their behavior, their mind. They're out of control. They have no self-discipline whatsoever. Most of them. Not all. Not all. Okay? And we need to make it more. Like 90%, 99%. And just that little percent. Oh, well, I don't know. Yes, there are wonderful black communities that are out there with wonderful family, and that's what we need to focus on. Okay? That's what we need to focus on and to develop our lives. We need to put all that crap aside, about the police beating up on these people. Hey, I get pulled over too, and all the time every time I get pulled over, the first thing I say to them is, did I do something wrong? And they would say, oh no, it's okay. This, you did this or blah blah blah. One time, I got pulled over by a guy at night, a cop, and the moment he got to the car, he had an attitude, and he didn't want to tell me what I did. And he's like, give me your information. And I'm like, but what did I do? And because I know that they're supposed to tell you, the moment they get to the car, they're supposed to tell you what you've done. And he didn't want to tell me what I did wrong. And I saw his behavior, and I saw his temperament. So I knew where this was going to go if I didn't. So I said, no, okay. All right, I'll give it to you. And he went and he checked and he came back, and he just started to be. He was still belligerent and insulting. Anyway, guys, I think that's the end. Listen, I hope I got to somebody. I hope somebody picked up on what I'm going to say. You can contact me or connect with me. I'm on Facebook. I know I have something on Twitter, but these are all my little places on Facebook and YouTube. Oh, I didn't put my YouTube channel on there, but if you're listening to this and you're with my YouTube channel, but I have Bill and Lives, that's the t-shirt. I don't have everything on there now. I have to switch where I have it and put some stuff on there. because I'm using that out there right now. But anyway, guys, just connect with me. If anybody has any really cool ideas in regarding to connecting together to make stuff happen, connect with me. Let's get our communities great. I'm all for that. Let's get our community together. Okay, now thank you all so much. Please just support the group, the channel by just pressing like. I mean, if it has been helpful, if you like what I have to say, press like, press subscribe, so that when I get post more stuff, you'll be able to hear it. I thank you so much for tuning in and listening to this, and I really do hope that somehow this was of benefit to you. Thank you, guys. Love you much, and you take care, and tune in again for more on All One Sun. Okay, keep it real, everyone.